Yes, it's Hollie's Hotspurs back with another one. Chatting all things Tottenham, we're second to none. Special guests every time, if it's win, lose or draw. The passion is high like Harry Kane when he scores. Or when Lloris makes a world-class save. We got Højbjerg running the mid every game. Settle down, stick around, share your thoughts with the panel. And make sure you're subscribing to the channel, cause...
Hello and welcome to another episode of Hollie's Hotspurs Live, where we are going to obviously have to talk about that defeat to Manchester United, but we can also talk about the sacking of Nuno. And with me tonight to discuss everything that's happened over the last couple of days, which has been absolute madness, I am joined by three amazing guests. We are joined by former Spurs and legend, which is Graham Roberts. Graham, how are you this evening?
Hi, Hollie. Yeah, very good, thank you. Looking forward to this.
It should be a very good therapy session, I think. We are also joined by Patrick. Patrick, how are you this evening?
I'm really good, thank you. It's a pleasure and honour to be on here with all these amazing guests and pundits, and obviously as former Spurs legend in himself with Graham Roberts. So yeah, let's go, let's do it.
Let's have it. Nice to have you back on, Patrick. And we're also joined by Abbi Summers. Abbi, how are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm so sorry how many times I've cancelled you lately. I feel so bad. So I was determined there was no way I was not going to be on here tonight with you. So thank you for being so patient with me, Hollie.
That is all right. Always want you on. And like I say, and Graham's already said this evening that you're on like Sky Sports and live. And so it's a pleasure to have you on here anyway. So thank you very much. So let's crack on with it. Obviously, we have to start with that defeat, which was obviously it's caused the dismissal of Nuno today. So, Graham, I'll come with you first. Obviously, it was a 3-0 loss at home. And I think that, above all, is probably the most depressing thing, that we were at home and the lads didn't necessarily play for Nuno, but it was more the sense that there wasn't anything there, really, was there? What were your kind of thoughts on obviously having to lose 3-0 to Man United?
I think the game was coming. You know, we hadn't played well. When you go to West Ham and you have one shot on target, it's not good. You know, it's not a good future for Nuno, for the players. And you just saw the demeanour of the players was, you know, very, very low. I'm not sure the players knew what Nuno wanted. You know, it was changing every week. It was different players coming in. You know, Ndombele was in the team, then he's not in the team. So, you know, you're going to have unhappy players. And I thought the whole game we were poor. We were very, very poor. I've got to say, this took me back to the 1990s on Saturday. And I didn't think we'd ever go that low again. I was really, really disappointed because everybody's disappointed, but for the fans, for the players, the players should look at themselves really and say, am I giving enough for this football club?
I think that's amazing.
Sorry, you look at them and, you know, is it 4 managers we've had now? We've had Poch, Mourinho, Mason, and now Nuno. That can't keep happening. It can't keep happening. You've got to get settled down and you've got to do it quickly. And you know, you read in we don't know if it's true. You read in the papers, the players are not happy with the training. They're not happy with this. Well, get out there and show what you are proud of, putting that shirt on. That's what counts, really.
100%. And I think it is interesting you've said that, because we can always criticise Nuno because we'll probably get onto it. But at the moment, I feel like they're not giving 100% in their Spurs shirt. But that being said, Patrick, you've got to look at the players that Nuno started. And for me, I think the alarm bell started ringing when I saw Ben Davies at left back. So, Patrick, I'll come to you. Was that kind of your gut feeling as well?
Listen, I said it on the TFT show last Friday that we were going to lose. And I said Man United would comfortably beat us 2-0 and keep a clean sheet. And I had loads of people jumping on me, Spurs fans and United fans. Spurs fans obviously not happy that I said we were going to lose. United fans laughing at me that I said that they would keep a clean sheet away from home, which they hadn't done in so long. But I just had a feeling, the way we were playing, the way we were setting up, just everything around the camp, it was so negative. And the fact that Man United had just got spanked 5-0, I knew there'd be some sort of bite back and some reaction. And I didn't see, with Nuno at the helm, he just doesn't have that oomph to command the team and bring them out to war. Like, other than Højbjerg, you don't really see any of the players up for it. Probably Højbjerg and Levy are the only guys that look like they're ready to die and to battle, and possibly Oliver Skip. The rest of them, they're just going through the motions. They look lethargic and not really at the races. And as soon as I saw that team sheet, Ben Davies, who hasn't played all season, why is he starting in possibly the biggest game of the year so far? And then we've had Ndombele be brought back into the team. He started to hum, he started to look synced, and he started to look like that number 10, that creative player. And then he's dropped again in our biggest game for Lo Celso, who, don't get me wrong, I feel is a good player, but it didn't make sense to bring him in this moment. So as soon as I saw that lineup, I knew we were gone for. And lo and behold, it just pretty much went to plan. And when he took off Lucas Moura, who was our best player on the day and the only person that was actually running at the United defense and causing them problems, the whole stadium just went mad. And it was just, I knew his time was up when he did that.
And I think that kind of resonates with all of us, doesn't it, Abby? Because Lucas Moura is probably the one man that gives us all every game, regardless of whether he puts in a good shift in case he's running into players and this, that and that. But he was actually performing very well, Abby. So I don't know what went through Nuno's brain at that moment of time.
I saw a really good tweet before. It was like, Nuno's done 2 things, Amsterdam, and also got Nuno sacked. Look, he's obviously done plenty of other things, but it was incredible. He was the only player that was literally like busting a gut out there, and to take him off. I mean, I think the reaction just said it all, really. I actually didn't think Nuno would have got the sack on this game, because I didn't expect us to play how bad we actually played. I thought that they were never going to cash in on him this early on. I thought they'd give it a few more weeks. And if things didn't pick up, I thought they'd do it then. But it just shows you the level of how poor it was. And it just looked like they're not a team. They haven't bought into anything he's been selling since the minute he came in. And like you said, as soon as you saw the team sheet, Davis was such a weird inclusion in that side. And I was only thinking, maybe Reguilon's injured or something. And then to see him sitting on the bench, I was like, what? Like, this is mad. So I couldn't actually see any logical reason for putting Ben Davies in there personally. But yeah, I mean, it's weird. His tactics in all the games have been non-existent for me personally. You can take Newcastle out of the equation, because I think anyone who plays Newcastle would have looked good. But in all honesty, the guy doesn't make substitutions. And I actually feel a bit sorry for Nuno, because I think he's probably a really nice guy. But unfortunately, I think he was way in over his depth at Tottenham. I thought that from the initial appointment. When we were top of the league, it was never going to happen, and he was never going to maintain that. And it was purely out of, I think, luck, because we weren't playing well in any of those games, bar City, where we actually did play well, but City were completely off it that day as well. So I think that it was an experiment, another one that went wrong, another one that's going to cost a few mil to fix. But again, it's an endless cycle with us. How many managers have we had under Enoch and Levy? So whether or not Conte is the one that comes in, will it work out? I'd probably veer on the side of no, but I guess we can just be hopeful that at least it won't be that turgid football, because it takes a real special person to play worse football than Jose Mourinho, and I think Nuno managed to top that.
Yeah, I agree, Abby. I agree. I think I'm just reading some of these comments coming in, and I think it was Jay-Z. Something.
JJ season. Jay-Z. Nice
managers don't win trophies. Absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely right. We had Pochettino, lovely man, never won nothing.
I'm too loyal.
What I'm saying is, Nuno, I looked at his demeanour on TV, and his head was low. He was a beaten man on Saturday.
Yeah.
Absolutely beaten man.
He's done for.
And, reading tonight on social media that Paratici, after the second goal winning, stormed out from his seat on the bench, which I don't really get, how you can have a director of football on the bench. I don't get that bit. But I'm old-fashioned. But you've got a manager, you've got coaches. Do you need other people? No, you don't. Get on and buy the players you want to buy. Let the manager coach them and let the manager deal with them. But there is my friends sit in the tunnel club, and they heard Nuno shout at Dier and Alli, get ready to go on the pitch. And he said, I haven't warmed up yet. He said, you're not having a warm up, get on the pitch.
Wow.
So that wasn't really good. And then he asked Ndombele, and then Ndombele told him to do one. He said no. So that's the attitude of the players, you know. That's what I was told from my friends. They were sitting in the tunnel club, and they said it was absolutely embarrassing.
But you could see that. You could see they had no. You could see they had no respect from him. And I have to say, like we said, he's a nice guy, but he doesn't exactly command respect.
No,
he doesn't exactly put the fear of God how someone like a Conte, or even arguably a Mourinho. You know, there's a respect level there. And I just think he came in. It was never going to go anywhere. These players need so much motivation to get themselves ready, which is mental. Because if you think, you know, they have a job that, you know, billions of people around the world wish they could have. And it's such a privilege to, you know, pull on a shirt for any major club and come on the pitch, you know, and do something that you love to do. And like everything's a chore. And it's like being at school. Like when you have a teacher that you know you can take the piss with and get away with stuff, you're just going to do it. So that's why it's so important that whoever comes in next, if it is Conte, that he really lays down the law with those players.
I'll ask you all three of you a question. It's Ollie's show here. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
I do overtake people. Do you think some of these players, and I, like me personally, quite a few, but some of these players should go?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Right behind me. No,
Yeah,
You know,
you're Delhi.
because they've been here too long now.
Mm-hmm.
And every time something goes wrong, the players blame the manager, the coaches.
Yeah.
Hold on, have a look in the mirror. Have a look in the mirror. Are you giving 100% for this football club and for these fans? Are you giving 100%? And they can't say yes in that mirror.
Yeah, it's a shame because someone like Dele Alli, who I loved and adored, and I really wanted the best.
Player.
Yeah, he was my favorite player as well. But for me, it's time for him to go. Pastures new, go and, you know, explore somewhere else, and we just kind of cut ties with him. How much more can we get out of the guy? Does he really want to be at Spurs? Is he really going to push himself to get back? Not even to get better, just to get back to where he used to be. That's what we're asking for now, which is crazy. At such a young age, his ceiling, his level should have been, you know, he should have had such a high ceiling. He's not going to get there. So, you know, Eric Dier, again, someone who, don't get me wrong, he's trying. He's in the starting lineup, but is he really good enough?
Right.
No.
Is he a centre half?
No. He thinks. Well, he thinks he is. He thinks he is.
I played centre half, and Eric Dier is not a centre half.
He's not a centre back. He's not a DM. What is he?
He is a centre midfield player.
Yeah.
I saw him play in there, and we played Chelsea away, and he put some great balls over the top. Dele Alli scored a wonder goal.
Yeah.
Why is it because he thinks his legs are going? He doesn't want to run around in midfield. When he's playing at the back, he slows the game down. It's walking pace. You know, he's not a centre half.
Well, you forget where he played under Pochettino, because he came in as a centre half from Sporting, and Poch said, "You're not a centre half," and put him in that midfield position. Yeah. And as soon as Poch left, he kind of outed him and said, "Well, I didn't want to play there. I was put there, and I'm actually a defender." But Pochettino did him a favour. He's given him, in my opinion, he's given him a career. He got him in that England side, because if it's based on just being a defender, would never have made it. Because I don't know how he's still at Tottenham Hotspur, and I think that he's one of those players that do give 100% every time he puts on the jersey. But I just don't think he's good enough. Yeah. And I just saw that comment. Thank you, Bob. And it's such a shame, because I did a really long interview on TalkSport last night about everything to do with ENIC and Levy, and I really didn't hold back on them. And one of the things I mentioned was, you know, how we're so reactive in everything we do. With Danny Rose was still at the club until 4 months ago. He hasn't played for us for 2.5 years. You know, Eric Dier never cashed in on him. Harry Winks, no disrespect. I know Hollie loves him, but he's still there. You know, again, another player we should have cashed in on. It's going nowhere fast. Dele Alli, I think he'd be a great fit for Newcastle's first signing. Go to Newcastle. Yeah. You know?
Do you think Dele Alli's got too big on top? So,
he's just interested in other things.
Muscle is heavier than it's heavy. And I
just think he's lost it.
Struggling to get around the pitch. It just looks to me that he's become very physically strong, and it just maybe it's wearing on his legs. And
I just don't see a footballer there anymore. I just see somebody who wants to be a fashion model. He wants to be in social media forefront, playing, live stream Fortnite, this, that, and the third. I just don't see the desire and the hunger to actually be a footballer. That's got to be your main priority. Everything else is secondary. And I don't really see that. I don't really see someone that's willing to really,
He should listen to you, because when you have to give it up, it's the worst day of your life.
There you go. You need to speak to them. You need to go and speak to these guys and tell them this.
We're not allowed to go anywhere near the club. So
oh, mate.
We're not allowed. We're not allowed at the training ground. We're not. I work once every 4 weeks now, 4 games. So
yeah, they need to hear from some ex-pros so they can understand that their time is short.
There's no winners at the club. In the coaching staff, all the way through, there's no winners.
Seeps down from the top. Comes from the top.
There's no winners in the football club, and it's disappointing. They're really disappointing that they don't have the likes of Stevie Perriman and myself and players that have won things.
Exactly.
They can talk to us. But no,
and not even one things that are Tottenham as well, that are Tottenham, that understand the club, that understand the fans, that can actually relay what we feel and what we think to them. Because you guys could be the link. Because right now they're so alienated and they don't really get it.
The PR is not very good at all.
Amongst many other
somebody
things.
just put if Ledley King is in the back room, then they need somebody like me. I agree.
Yeah,
with you.
I agree, man. I agree. And it shouldn't be that hard. It's not that hard to sort that out, is it? Really?
No, it's not. But they have their way and they have to go by it, and that's how it is. But you have to have people that have won trophies. Like what it's like to play in front of your own team and 60,000 people there, and you lift a cup and you score a goal. They haven't got that.
Yeah, we're all dying for that, man.
In there to explain what it means to somebody that's done it. I'll tell you what, it's the best day of my life to do it at White Hart Lane, score a goal and win the cup. They never experienced anything like this.
They probably never will.
They put it wrong. We hope not.
But it's no surprise that how many players is it? Like, I think it's 30 or 31 players that have left Tottenham have gone on to win something the season after. So it tells you something about that club. It is inherent from the top down, the problem. Yeah. Inherent.
It is. Because the players are good enough. If you look at them man for man, there's good players there. And like you said, Abby, when they go to other teams, they contribute and they win things. So it's not really the players, it's the whole system, the structure, obviously the guys at the top, everything. It's just not designed and set up for us to win stuff. But it should be now. We've got the stadium, we've got the team, we've got the fans going in there, the stadium's generating money, blah, blah, blah. We've heard it all. Now we want to see it.
100%. I mean, this is quite interesting from Bob. Big up Bob Spur TV. And he said, obviously, Levy out was ringing around in the stadium at the weekend. Do you think, Gran, I'll throw it to you because obviously it's aimed at you. Do you think that hearing that has finally made the penny drop for some fans that were kind of sitting on the fence, do you feel? Or do you think that
maybe? I think
maybe.
What you have to, what I don't get is they went for Conte in the summer. Obviously, he thought the club were going to sell Harry Kane. And the club have kept him. Whether it's the right thing, the wrong thing, we don't know. I have to say that I'm a big fan of Harry's, but he's not doing it at the moment. But I don't think he's getting the service that he should get.
Yeah.
You're not getting good balls into the box. It's laboured. He's coming deeper and deeper to get the ball. But I think that Daniel made a muck up there, and I was going to say something else, but I'll keep it in there. Right? Because reading what Conte has said today, and I think he's done an interview with Thierry Henry, and he said, if they don't do it the way I want them to do, I kill them.
Yeah.
Well, I think we might be down to about 4 players, to be honest. But we have, like Patrick said, we have some quality players there. I'm not sure they can take somebody having a go at them, which that if they'd have been in our dressing room, that happened every week, every weekend. The manager, and it kept you on your toes.
Yeah.
And that is the difference. You know, you have to be kept on your toes. Like in our days, it was like you lot are too bloody young. Like in our days, it was like one substitute.
Wow.
So if you wasn't in the team and you want 12 man, you played in the reserves until you could get back in that first team. It was hard. It was really, really hard, and you wanted to play in. And when you got in there, you gave your all, and that's why we were successful. We stuck together. We had, and Keith Burtonshaw, like, I think Daniel's mucked up a lot. I think because he hasn't bought players every year. You have to freshen up a team every year. When Keith Burtonshaw was manager, I joined in 1980. Stevie Archibald and Garth Crooks were the two big signings. I came in with him. I was a nobody. I trained with the reserves. I played in reserves, and within 3 months, I got into the first team. But those were the two big signings. The next year, we signed Paul Price. I think it was Gary Mabbutt.
Okay.
The next year, we bought Gary Stevens, Danny Thomas. So the next year, we bought Alan Brazil. So he always kept everybody on their toes. And that's what it makes you do. It makes you become a better player.
Yeah.
Because you look at, when Paul Price came in, he obviously came in, he wanted my place, but he wasn't getting it. But that's what you have to do, Patrick. You have to say, you ain't getting in my place.
Yeah. And that's the problem.
That is.
You know what? That's the problem with Harry Kane right now. He's too comfortable. He knows he'll never get dropped. And don't get me wrong, I love Harry Kane. I want him to stay. I want him to get back to the Harry Kane that we all know and love.
Yeah.
But he's too comfortable. He knows he's not going to get dropped. He knows his place isn't at stake. So he's labouring around. He's not really... If he was dropped for a couple of games and he had to fight back to get his spot, and then when he was in the team again, he had to prove himself, it would be better for everyone.
But that's part of the problem, Patrick, because we don't have the competition. And this isn't a new thing with Spurs. This is going back years and years and years. And we see the complacency and how it happens. You know, Christian Eriksen, he openly said he didn't want to be there, still not going to take him out of the team because he didn't have anyone else that was better or could rival him. You're not going to drop Harry Kane when you don't have another striker. We don't have another striker. So that's the problem there. You know, Dier and Alli has got in this team many a times because there's been no one that can, well, I say do the job he doesn't really do much, but as in there hasn't been anyone, again, that can potentially rival that in a certain position or what some manager thinks he can offer. You know, Eric Dier still playing at centre-back because we don't have another one good enough. You know, and people argue who's better.
Tanganga and Rodon, I feel doing much better.
I absolutely love Tanganga. I really do. And also Joe Rodon. I don't see what the problem is with Joe Rodon. I don't see why he's been isolated. I don't see it. You know, he played a few games for us last season. I didn't think he was particularly bad in any of those games. No worse than anyone else, really. He hasn't really had a fair crack of the whip. I don't understand what that isolation is about. Don't get it.
Yeah. Like, as I've played the game, as you know, right? as a centre half, I would say Joe Rodon, for me at the moment, is a championship player.
Really? That's harsh.
But have you seen enough of him to warrant that? Because I don't feel like we've even seen enough of him.
Right. Okay. But when he has played, I think he's a bit lightweight.
I thought he's looked all right, to be fair, Graham.
I didn't think he looked any worse than what we've got.
No,
exactly. And he's definitely got a turn of pace as well.
I think Tanganga is the best right back.
Right back, not centre back.
Right back.
I think he's the best right back.
Okay, fair enough.
I think Sanchez, when he played the other night against Burnley, if you play Sanchez against two strong players up front, he will be the best player. When he has time to think, when he's got the ball, that's when he struggles.
Yeah.
So, you know, but with Joe Rodon, you give him another 2-3 years, and I think he'll grow and he'll be better. But I just think at the moment that with all the pressure, it's like I was talking to Mickey Hazard today, and you bring players from lower league, okay? So we brought Clark, I don't know where he is. He's gone
Yeah.
on holiday. we brought Sessegnon. I think he's gone to the moon with nobody seeing him. I think we got Joe Rodin. He's like Abby said, he's been in and out. He very rarely plays. We've got Bergwijn, who's been injured. We've got Lo Celso, who's been injured. All those players, I would say, they probably come in about 130 million pounds for those players.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we buying youngsters? Because we have a fantastic academy that people keep telling me that Dane Scarlett's going to be the superstar. Well, I've seen him play in the Europa League, whatever it is.
UCL. Yeah, Conference League.
He's never had a kick at a ball.
No, he's too, I think he's too young. I think he's too
17,
young.
right? 17,
He looks like a baby. Like he's got. But again, you look at someone like Oliver Skipp, and what did Skipp? I really love Oliver Skipp. I think he's a great player. I think what did him the world of good was going on loan. You know, he came back as a completely different player, bulked up. He looks like a man now. He left as a child. And someone like you forget that Dane Scarlett's 17 years old. He shouldn't be playing as the first choice striker in those games. He's too young. But because we don't have another striker.
He's got
It's criminal. Yes.
There we go. And all let's look. Put it this way: all roads lead back to the same thing.
Definitely.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
That egg.
The egg.
That
But I know I joke about it, but it seems to be that we keep going around in this endless cycle all the time of making mistakes. It's like you said earlier, Abby. We're always reactive, never proactive.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand. I mean, I want to kind of throw a spanner in the works. I don't mind who answers because I like it how the chat's flowing, but. We have had NFL in the stadium, and I know many people we sit there cringing at it, but we have had the NFL and we've had a boxing, obviously, event as well. Now, I know my answer to the question, but my question to you guys is: do you think that influx of money now that we've got, say, has maybe turned Conte's head as well? Because obviously he is the man that we think is coming to Tottenham, or that we hope is coming to Tottenham, and it doesn't fall through like the Barla, but nevertheless. Do any of you guys think that this money made by the NFL and obviously the boxing has maybe pushed that deal as well, and we've got a bit more extra cash? Or do you think it's maybe
just a minute ago, Hollie, and I said that obviously there's rumours he's going to be given £100 million. What does £100 million buy?
not much.
Not a lot. You know, I was saying today, I got asked on a phone call from a reporter, and I said, well, if they get Conte, he has to have £200 to £300 million to spend to get this team anywhere near top six this year. Because
I agree.
You've got we have to get rid of 7 or 8 players. They've been there too long. They've gone stale
as fuck.
Bring better players in. You need £200-300 million.
But also, not only has it gone stale, the recruitment is so poor. So when you do eventually sell players and you bring them in, instead of buying people that are Premier League proven or someone that is, maybe £20 million more, we'll always cut corners. So you'll go and get someone that's a Steven Bergwijn. I know he's been injured at times, but still not good enough. You go and buy a Jedson Fernandez instead of Bruno Fernandes because they wanted £2 million more. That is criminal.
Yeah,
you know,
crazy.
these are all pivotal moments. Do you know how many people have come through that training ground? Grealish, Mane, Ronaldo, Batshuayi. There's so many, and you know when your brain is like this, the list is so long, and there's been so many that have come through that training ground, all wanting to sign for Tottenham Hotspur.
Eden Hazard as well.
Eden Hazard. It gets to Sergio Aguero. I mean, there's so many that, these are the only ones I can think about from the top of my head. But there are so many. And the problem is that they get to a point where it comes down to wages and things like that. And then Daniel Levy offers something stupid and something low. And then they go, don't worry, I'll go to Chelsea or I'll go to Liverpool and I'll get an extra £100,000 on top of that. Mental. And it's been the same ethos going back to the time of the Joe Coles and the Glenn Johnsons when they were at Portsmouth or Liverpool. It's an endless thing. So if you're going to actually give Conte money, 100 million is going to get you nothing in this squad. No. And that's why I agreed with not selling Harry Kane in the summer, because if it was 80 million that was on the table, What's the point? You can't replace Harry Kane with 80 million. You know, you need 180 million to replace Harry Kane, especially the way that we spend it. But if you want to look at this squad, they're going to give him an 18-month contract with, I think, an additional year on top, right? So if it works out, you know, that's January transfer window. No good business gets done in January, so you can count that one out to get anyone that's really probably going to make much difference. You're giving him the summer. That's one window for him to try and change his squad around. This squad needs such an overhaul. You know, the amount of players, if you did a list of that 25-man squad, who you'd keep, I reckon there'd be maybe six players.
Six, yeah. Eight if we're being kind, because I would have kept Roden.
And he's a great manager, but you know, we're going to be expecting him to make miracles. You forget when he went to Chelsea still had an incredible squad there. Yeah, you know, and things like that. So it's not like he can walk in and suddenly, you know, make gold out of this. It's going to be a process again.
On the flip side, and I ask all you guys this: if Conte does come in, I'm sure he will come in with assurances. He's a world-class manager. He's high in demand. He doesn't have to take the job. So the way I'm looking at it is, if he does come in, Levy would have promised him funds to spend in January and a chance to overhaul the squad. So that's how I'm looking at it. If he does come in, maybe Levy understood his problems.
That could go two ways, Patrick.
Yeah.
Right? Conte is a world-class manager. He could come to Tottenham and be one of the worst managers. That's how it could be.
Yeah,
you know that could be, Tottenham could destroy it.
Yeah.
These players could destroy Conte. And so we have to give him a chance. I think, me personally, I want him to get the job because I want his character to sort that football club out, to sort those players out. Because I don't think Nuno was big enough for that. I think he wasn't powerful enough to. Jose Mourinho tried to do it. And we sacked him, which was wrong at that time.
Well, yes, I mean, 4 days before a cup final.
Yeah,
not great.
That was crazy. He was
another masterstroke. Yeah,
that was crazy.
But that's the thing. I mean, Jay's already parked up lots, and he's going to love you, Graham, because obviously you said your thing about Pochettino. But he's being devil's advocate tonight, but he's being genuinely serious, and he's saying that Jose came in with insurances, and that's the thing as well. Like, we have just touched on it. Jose came in with insurance. What's going to be the difference for Conte? I don't know if anybody wants to try and ask that. What is the
a Levy assurance isn't exactly an assurance.
I don't think. Listen, any manager that gets a job, you know, you're getting sacked down the line. 90% of them get sacked, unless you're a Klopp, Guardiola, and Tuchel at the moment. Every manager in the Premier League will get sacked by them.
Well, I don't think that's the assurance he's looking for. I think the assurance is that will he get the money that he's promised. How many times have you seen an article or something that says, "Oh, Daniel Levy promises war chest XYZ"? What's in that war chest? You know, because if it's 20 million, it's not a war chest. Yeah. And how many times have you seen that? How many times have you seen that headline? Daniel Levy's offering war chest to this manager, that manager. Yeah, it's, you know, it's ridiculous. So whatever he's saying in that boardroom, maybe Conte will buy into it with the 15, 16 million euros a year he's going to get, which is fine. But, you know, I think the thing with Conte, just how vocal Mourinho was, Conte is equally as volatile when it comes to those things. So if he doesn't live up to those assurances, best believe that we will all be hearing about it once again. And we could be back in this very same position this time next year, if not before.
I think, as bad as it may sound, though, I feel like for us as fans, I feel like if he makes another stint like this, people are going to be fully fed up.
Yeah. That's the first time in the stadium.
How are people not already fed up?
I know.
Abby, I think they are now. They've gone. I think if it doesn't pick up and they don't get things right, then you'll be playing in front of 40, 35, 40, 50. It won't be sellouts.
No, I know. You only have to look at somewhere like Barcelona in comparison. Yeah. They've got a 90,000 seater stadium. They had 37,000 there the other day.
Yeah. Crazy.
So it's pushing on the side of that, because I won't be going in. I was at the point where I won't be going to Tottenham anymore. I won't be wasting my time on my one day off that I get to go and do that and sit there and be in the worst mood.
it's not going to be great, is
You're
it?
never in a bad mood anyway.
Do you know what? I swear to God, when I got home on Saturday, I had to do some work after the game, so I was there. I had to stay, unfortunately, after full time, and then I got stuck in an hour and a half worth of traffic leaving Tottenham for a 25-minute drive, and I got home at 9:45, and I was, when you're in the worst mood, and I literally walked in, I went straight to bed, and that was it. Went straight to bed.
That's like me as well. It just puts me in such a bad mood. Like that's the thing. It takes over, and it shouldn't, but it does.
It's a weird one because I knew we were going to lose, but when we did lose, I was still pissed off, and I was like, why am I letting it get to me like this? Because I was like, I'm trying to detach myself from it because I already saw it coming, but I couldn't.
But you want to have a winning team.
Yeah.
Well, you want to have a team that at least puts up a bit of fight.
Exactly,
You don't have to win every week, but you have to be proud to watch your team and go and actually see something. I'd rather win 5-4 every week than see that.
I think now,
or lose 5-4.
If we get him, I think he's got 2 vital games coming up, or 3. We've got Everton, which is absolutely vital. We get something. We've got Leeds United, and we've got West Ham in the cup.
Some tough games, man.
That is vital, and he has to stamp his authority on that team ASAP. Yeah. And you'll find out who wants to be there, who doesn't.
But that is the thing. Like we said, that the squad is going to stay on. We need to mix it up. And I do like to point out my good friend Harry Winks, because Graham, we did have a chat beforehand, and it'd be quite nice just to give Harry Winks a bit of showtime, because obviously he hasn't really done much on the pitch. So I'll come to you, Graham. What's your thoughts on Harry Winks, just because he's my favourite?
I know he's your lover. I know that. So I think Harry should go away and look at the videos when he played really, really well. How did he get in the England team? What did he do different to what he's doing now?
I'd argue he had Mason Dembele playing alongside him.
100%.
But you know what? For England versus Spain away, when we beat them 3-2, he ran that game.
He was brilliant.
He was brilliant.
Right?
Champions League against Real Madrid as well.
But he was playing forward passes. When Harry Winks plays for Tottenham, since they brought this silly rule in that the goalie can pass it to a fullback or a centre half in the penalty area, it's ruined the midfield people, because they get the ball played to them and they pass it backwards again or sideways. Take a bit of responsibility, lift your head up and have a look forward for a forward pass, because once you get that, your team can push up. But, I've seen Harry Winks. I saw Skippy do it for about half an hour the other day, and I thought, please don't go into that mould. And I thought Højbjerg started doing it the other day. Sideways, backwards, slow, sideways.
Laborious,
Harry Winks, I think, is a talented boy. But he needs to go back to when he started in the team and see what he did. Go back and watch your videos. Go back or get the coaching staff to say, get the ball played into him, turn, look forward, and he will be a much, much better player. To me personally, Ollie, I think he should go, because I think he needs a new challenge. But if he can start looking in what he did when he was there he's been there for a few years. When he first got in the team, and for a couple of years after, he played in the Champions League final.
Yeah, he's had some great performances. He has had great performances over the years. But like we all know, he's just, like many of that team, have just tailed off and gone stale. And I think that you are right. There is a player in there, because I was a very big fan of Harry Winks for a long time. But then sometimes you are just flogging a dead horse, like trying to find a positive and a negative. But I would say that either he's at the wrong club still, and it's just not going to work for him, or like all of our midfielders, they've got no vision. I really like Oliver Skipp. I think Oliver Skipp, could be the one that actually maybe comes out the best in all of this, because I think maybe he'll play in a different type of way if Conte likes him. And we know that what Højbjerg is there to do, it's not necessarily to pass the ball forward, although he does it very well for Denmark, just not for Spurs. But I think with someone like Harry Winks, if you're going to play Skipp and Højbjerg, you have to have someone in the middle there that can, pass the ball through the channels and through the lines and things like that. And need an Eriksen, and we don't have that. And lots of people think it's Lo Celso. Lo Celso isn't Eriksen, and he's actually way more defensive than Eriksen ever was. You know, we bought him in thinking he was a direct replacement. He's not. He's never going to be that direct replacement. He might be great under Conte because we're going to see a completely different formation. He loves 3 at the back, Conte. We're going to see a whole different variation of what midfield is. And Ndombele could be that person that picks the pass and sees the runs through the channels. But again, it's whether or not Ndombele wants to play and wants to play for more than 60 minutes. So these are the things. We needed an Eriksen.
But Abby.
Yeah.
Ndombele has come out at the beginning of the season and said, I want to leave this football club. My 2 best mates have left. I want to leave. He can't be at the football club.
But then could you not argue the same with Harry Kane then?
Well, yeah, but Harry Kane never come publicly and said it.
He didn't need to. He went through every media outlet there was.
Exactly. He basically did, didn't he?
I've spoken to his dad and his mum. Then I'm not going to get into that because
I didn't want him to go at all. I want him to stay, and I haven't sat there and publicly slagged off Harry Kane because I still think that he's one of the best strikers in Europe and the best English striker. Well, if you're going to say that about Ndombele,
right? If he goes to Man City, Harry Kane, he scores 40 goals this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, easily.
But why is he not going to score 40 goals for us? Because he hasn't got the players.
Yeah.
You know, so Ndombele to come out and say, I want to leave, right? But his demeanour is when he's on the pitch, he looks knackered after 5 minutes.
But I would say that your point about Harry Kane being at City, I mean, he got top goal scorer and assister last year in that exact same team.
I agree.
So if Harry Kane wants to make it happen, Harry Kane can make it happen.
Yeah, Harry Kane needs to be dropped at the moment.
The players around him.
And
I think the players last year for Jose were playing better than what they are for Nuno.
Yeah, I agree.
Easily.
And if you're not playing at the top level of your ability, then Harry, how many crosses have we had for Harry? We had 1 cross from Reggie on against West Ham.
Yeah, the header.
One forward cross, and you can't do it. It's impossible. You know, you're getting Harry Kane coming 60 yards back to get a touch of the ball. Sonny on Saturday, he came back on the halfway line to get a touch of the ball because they play so bloody slow.
Yeah,
you know, it's the game. The match we play is so slow that I was going to come out of retirement, me and Mickey Aldo. Because we said we watched it on Saturday and we said, well, I can do what he does.
We need you to come. Yeah, exactly. We need you on the squad.
I'm 62 years old. You know, come on. Look, they got to have a bit of passion. You got to, when you put that shirt on, you got to go out and you got to give every ounce of in your body.
Otherwise, don't play. No, and
just like if he wants to go, sell him. You can't have football players in your football club. And I agree with Harry Kane. If Harry Kane wants to leave, he's got to go.
Yeah.
You can't have football players in your club that are not committed 100%.
And are not buying into what's going on. And I agree. I didn't want Harry Kane to go. And I was against selling him. And I even said, unless the money comes in, then we sell it. But right now, seeing what I've seen from Harry Kane and the way he's playing, and if he wants to go, just get rid of him, man. It hurts me to say it because I don't want that to happen. But at the same time, you can't have passengers. And we need everyone buying in. Yeah, at the moment, it's not good. It's not good.
No, and that's the thing. I think, like we said it so many times.
We didn't talk about Harry Winks, did we?
we touched on it.
I've had too many jokes in the stream about Harry Winks, so we can move on. It's fine. But yeah, I think that's true. I think we've obviously pointed out that our good mates Levy the Egg and Enick have not produced the goods again. But I'm hoping that if Conte does go through, because I don't think it's 100% yet, if it does go through, I'm hoping there is a bit of a change because we do play Vitesse. I think it's on Thursday, and we do play
Thursday,
at the weekend. Now I'm hoping for a new manager bounce. I mean, Vitesse will probably be all right, but Everton, I call. Please, I'm trying to be positive, man.
No, listen, we're all positive, but I don't get where Nuno was changing 9-10 players to go to Vitesse Why didn't he play his best team for 3 games, and then you got 9
Lose all
points, have a rest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I just don't get all this dropping players. Oh, they might be tired. Don't go there. I don't want to go there.
That's I thought we'd bypass VOTs, but people have told me they have beat us away. Thank you, Jay and Dan. They have beaten us, so we do have to actually turn up against them.
Well, we're third at the moment, so we need to get some points. Otherwise, we're not going to go through.
No, we don't win them. We don't go through.
Yeah, so we actually need to
turn up.
Mate, yeah.
I mean, this is the thing. Obviously, we're all starving for a cup. And lots of people are saying if they're going to go out of one, it's going to be this one. Now, I'll throw it out to you first, Abby. We never want to drop out of cup because we're so, like I've said, starving for one. But do you think maybe it'd be a blessing in disguise if we do drop out of it, do you think?
Yeah, I didn't want to be in it in the first place. I know that lots of people say, well, beggars can't be choosers. And, if you're in a European competition, yeah. But I think that when you're in a competition that genuinely lets you sorry, my laptop's about to die, that literally gives you an opportunity to get into the Europa League, I don't think it's enough incentive. I would much rather have just 1 game a week, focus on that, because I don't think this team's good enough to be able to play on a Thursday night, whether it is in some weird, European competition. I would rather just have the focus on back to basics, which I think Tottenham Hotspur need to do, and focus on that, and focus on the league, and focus on being in a Carabao Cup, or focus on the FA Cup when it comes around. I think they're way more important than having this cup. It's not a significant European trophy for my opinion. And I think that we could do without it, to be honest with you. So if we went out, would I care? No, not really. I think the situation we're in again, if we were at a more stable position, I'd say fine. But I'd also hope if we were in a more stable position, we wouldn't be in this competition in the first place.
That is very true. I mean, Patrick, what are your kind of thoughts? Is this something you wouldn't mind dipping out of? I mean, Kev said, why are we so snobby? I think it's not about snobbiness. I think it's about not the quality of it, but what that means for us.
Yeah,
what's the point of it?
You know what? I totally hear what Abby's saying, but I want us to go for this, man. We need some sort of trophy, some sort of silverware. And the fact that we're in it, we're in it because we deserve to be in it. We were 7th place. That is where we are right now. I mean, we're currently 8th, so it's kind of our level. But we as a Roma are probably the 2 biggest teams in that competition. So we should be going all out to win it. In my opinion, the players need to actually turn up and flipping win the cup, win the trophy. And then it sort of will breed some confidence and instill some sort of winning mentality, and we push on from there. Because we can't keep turning our nose up at this trophy, turning our nose up at this trophy, this cup. We can't be so snobby and picky when we haven't won a trophy in 12, 11, 13 years. So for me, I would say go all out and win it, especially with Conte coming in, and then we take it from there.
I agree.
I think that is true.
Sorry, I agree.
That's all right.
Listen, you enter a competition to win it. You don't enter a competition to say, well, I don't want to win that one. I don't want to win
exactly.
That. Because, no disrespect, if we get knocked out of this one, and we get knocked out the week after West Ham, and we get Liverpool in the FA Cup, we got some season, haven't we? We ain't going to win the league. So you might as well go for anything.
Yeah.
But try to stay in it as long as you can. And you never know what happens.
Okay, but just a question for you. Let's say it gets to March time, whatever, and let's say that we've got a game in this competition, and we have it won't be Carabao Cup. Let's say we have an FA Cup semi-final. Let's say, what one do you care more about? All right, in April. What one do you care more about?
I would care for both of them. Because
but Spurs probably we don't have the squad depth, I don't believe, to be able to do both well. Which one would you care more about?
I would well, it's very hard, because if you say you're going to prioritise the FA Cup and you go out of that, somebody will say to you, oh, she got a disc. Somebody would say to you that why did you not go for the Conference Cup? And that's, you can't go picking what cup you want to win. You've got to
and the conference,
and see where it leads you.
Yeah, the Conference League as well. That will push up our coefficiency points. So when they do bring in the extra spots in the Champions League in a couple of years, we're right there at the moment because we always qualify for Europe. barring this season. So we need those extra coefficiency points. So winning the Conference League this year will really help us with that. I want us to win it, to be honest. We're in it for the first time. I don't ever want to see us in there again, but whilst we are in there, let's go out and win it. When Chelsea are in the Europa League, they go and win it. You know, when Man United are in the Europa League, they go and, well, other than last year, they go and win it. So when these teams drop down, typically they go and win it. Why should we have that same mentality?
That is interesting. I do get what Abby's saying. I mean, when you look at, obviously, she's gone again. Don't like me agreeing with her.
Her battery died, I think, on the laptop, so she's trying to sort her phone out.
Yeah, I do agree to the sense. Oh, she's back. I thought you disagreeing with my point then. I'm agreeing with you. You left.
And also, I've left my headphones in the car. It's just I'm not having a good day.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you.
As long as you can hear me, I can hear you, but it's really low. So I'm just trying to sit really close with it to my ear.
It's all right, Abby. You're here. That's all that matters. But I do agree with you playing in the sense that which one do you rate higher, this, that, and the other. But for me, after only seeing obviously the League Cup in 2008 and everybody bantering about the Audi Cup, I just need a trophy. I don't care what it is at this point in time. But hopefully we do manage to beat VTs and we can carry on. But obviously there is Everton at the weekend as well. I know it's a bit difficult considering we don't necessarily have a manager at the moment. But Graham, I'll come to you first. What do you hope to see? And I know it's not just the players playing and actually turning up for once, but do you hope there's a bit more fight? Because I always say that Everton are the northern equivalent of Tottenham. They seem to bottle things up there as well. So I'll go to you, Graham. What do you think?
Yeah, I've got to say that I would like the team to go there and don't leave any effort off the pitch. Leave it on the pitch. But I think we need to get a manager. We need to be organised. You need to have a pattern. You need to have a way of playing. Right, he's going to have 2 games. You can have Vitesse. If he comes in tomorrow, they're saying tomorrow morning. If he comes in tomorrow morning, he's going to have Vitesse to look at the boys. But it's down to the players. Do you want to be on that pitch? Do you want to die? Do you want to run around and work hard? Because that's what it is. It's about working hard and giving your all for this football club. Because everybody now will say Everton will wipe Tottenham off the board. Everybody will say it. But I'm telling you now that we will beat Everton 3-1. Yeah.
Oh,
hey,
like
let's
that.
go. Let's go.
Because we'll have the bounce back factor.
Yeah, there you go.
I hope so. I think we need something to obviously rave about because at the moment it's been pretty dire. But I'll come to you, Patrick. Obviously, Graham's gone for a 3-1. What are you kind of feeling? Just a pattern of play would be nice, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's so hard to say because we haven't really seen this team turn up other than, I'd say, Man City first game of the season.
Agreed.
We look decent in spurts against Newcastle, but it's Newcastle. And to be fair, I think the Aston Villa game was a decent game, but we keep conceding goals as well. So I hope we beat them. It's hard to predict a score because, you know, a new manager, we don't know what he's going to line up or how he's going to line us up. But I'm going to be optimistic and say 2-1, hopefully 3-1. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet because we haven't kept one in ages, but I hope we will score a couple of goals. So yeah, 2-1 or 3-1
I think Abby have the formation right. I think if this manager gets in, it'll be 3 centre halves.
Okay.
3 centre halves, nice. Go on then, Abby. Over to you. What are you thinking?
If it is Conte that comes in, hopefully looks that way. Like you said, I guess he's got Vitesse as well on Thursday. But yeah, they'll be looking to kind of make a statement, I guess, Spurs. I think they'll be looking to prove themselves to him because I don't think he takes any prisoners, which I think is the type of mentality that this team need. So I think it will be, I'll go 2-1.
I like it. I was going to go for a 2-1 as well, but I think Graham's like blowing us out the water with that 3-1. I'd love that. Yeah. That'd be awesome. I mean, can you imagine a Harry Kane hat-trick? That would be lovely.
Let's go. Get him back in business, man.
Harry Kane scores 1 goal, we'll be happy.
Yeah,
very true.
We have a shot on goal.
No, you know what? That's a good point. Yeah, we didn't even register a shot on target. Crazy.
I mean, look, it's exactly. I think Chris is my cousin because there's not many Agenbars about, but like he said, it'd be nice if you have a shot on target.
Exactly.
And Jay's in there once again.
No, he's a comedian, is he?
Conte.
You can tell he's my other half, can't you? And he's the one who bloody bought that thing. So it's his fault.
Did he? There you go.
It's his fault this has all happened. But I want to say thank you very much for all three of you joining tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like I say, I love having you all on. Graham, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
It's so lovely to talk to someone that's actually used to live near around me. So that's pretty cool in a sense as well. So that's a madness.
Used to be round my house every day knocking on the door.
Oh, come on me podcast. But no, thank you, Graham. Where can I'm pretty sure everybody knows where they can find you on Twitter, but where can everybody find you doing your thing?
On Graham Roberts 4, at Graham Roberts 4 on Twitter. I've got a lovely charity. I work hard for them, and Hollie, I just get on and do my life and do what I want to do. You might see me at the games once or twice a month if I'm allowed, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll be there Thursday night cheering the boys on anyway.
Wicked.
Love it. Man. I love that, Graham. Thank you again so much. Patrick, where can everybody find you doing your thing as well?
Yes. So the handle's there. Well, it was there. Patrick Tyrant on Twitter. You can also catch me on Views TV Official. That's our channel. We record every Sunday. And then, to be fair, I'm here, there, and everywhere. I'm on the TFT show these days on coys.com. And I just jump on all pods when people invite me on. So, yeah, all good.
Well done, Patrick. Like I say, you're really doing yourself proud at the moment. So keep it up, mate. Like I say, it's always a pleasure having you. You always say how nice it is to be on this channel, but you are a star and all in yourself, mate. So
stop it! You're making me blush. Look, stop it! Stop it!
Patrick, don't laugh.
Oh dear. And Abbi, where can everybody find you now? I mean, apart from Sky and Radio 5 Live
and Talk Sport, Sky, live score.
Well, I'm actually going to be on Sky tomorrow morning. I think about 7:30, guys.
Right,
so if you're up, feel free to tune in. I'm sure it'll be all of this conversation all over again. But wherever you can find me,
you're there.
The usual platforms, Twitter and Instagram. So make sure you follow to keep up to date with whatever I'm doing, because it's always a million things a day. So thank you for letting me come on. I'm so sorry it took me so long to come on.
Don't be silly about it. Like I said, it doesn't matter. You're on here now, so that's all that matters. It's always a pleasure. I mean, what a star-studded lineup tonight. It's been a madness. And I want to say thank you to everyone in the comments. Like I say, I'm trying to get used to trying to pick up everybody's comments, but it's been a bit crazy tonight. So I appreciate every single one of you.
Hollie, big up yourself as well, man. You're doing really good things. And the fact that you can bring all these people together, and the fact that you got all these people in the comments is testament to you. So absolutely, big yourself up as well.
Thank you. Cheers. But no, like I said, we'll be back every Monday at 7 p.m. To talk about obviously that Everton game. We'll leave Vitesse because I'm hoping we'll be all right, but who knows. But until next time, like I say, make sure you like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. And until next time, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Woo!